disclosure. Sober disclosure. Breezy's a slut.
And we like it in the butt.
Are you or someone you know looking for support in recovery? Taste Recovery is your go-to directory for sober resources. Whether you're searching for treatment centers or sober living communities, Taste Recovery connects you with the right tools and support to help you on your journey. With a user-friendly platform and a comprehensive list of resources, Taste Recovery makes finding the help you need easier than ever. Start building your path to a healthier, sober life today. Visit tasterecovery.com to find the resources that work for you. Taste Recovery, your first step to a lasting positive change. Hi everyone, I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober
Disclosure. Sorry.
Today.
Oh my God.
I'm like, do we have sound effects? Today we're here with Anna Bolognese, like the pasta.
We're just out here dropping everyone's last names today.
Yeah. Is it Bolognese?
It's bolognese, yeah.
Bolognese, like the pasta.
I love that.
Yeah, the
It's
meat
very
sauce.
cute. The meat.
She likes meat.
I'm so nervous.
Why are you nervous? It's just us.
Okay.
You're just talking to your besties.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much time sober do you have?
Like 3.5 years.
Okay. And is this your first time getting sober?
No.
How many times have you been sober before?
I got sober once before. My original sobriety date is like August. I can't do this.
I'm like, is that a person that collects logs in the forest? A logist?
Oh my God,
That was good.
I don't even remember what the date was right now. It was in August of 2020.
August
That was your first time
2020.
getting sober?
Yeah.
Ooh, during COVID.
Yeah, I was a COVID baby. Yeah, I got sober in Zoom.
Whoa, what was that like?
It was super weird. I mean, I went to treatment, but we did
Okay.
all of our meetings in the treatment center on Zoom.
And that was your first time ever trying to get sober?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess I tried to get sober before, but it wasn't really the way that, like, I tried to get sober that time. It was different,
Yeah.
Like, the most time I ever got sober in LA where I was getting loaded was 28 days. So I got 28 days at some point. I don't remember exactly when it was. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not, like,
I'm not an addict.
no, yeah, I'm not an addict.
I did it.
And I wanted to celebrate.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a pat on the
And
back.
do heroin?
Congratulations.
I never did heroin.
Oh, what was your thing?
I only smoked meth.
Oh, me too. Oh my God, we're meth babies.
Yes, I am a tweaker.
Me too.
Yeah.
Die hard. Okay, so
28 days later. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
yeah, isn't that with vampires?
I don't remember.
No.
Zombies.
No.
It's a
Zombies,
zombie
yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking about that movie with Sandra Bullock. My bad.
What's that one?
She goes into treatment, and it's like,
No.
yeah, 28
Oh, that one's
days.
good.
They made me watch that in treatment.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I forgot about that. I watched it too.
Treatment.
Yeah.
Treatment, yeah.
Whoa. Okay, very interesting. Okay. So the amount of time you had actually gotten sober, but that doesn't count because you were just like white knuckling it. Right?
Totally, yeah.
You weren't going to meetings or anything like
No, I was on a
You were
court
in a
card.
12-step program, or you weren't going to 12-step meetings.
No, I was.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
were,
because I had a court card, so I
Oh,
had things
okay.
I had to do. When I got that 28 days, I had moved into a sober living in the Valley because my boyfriend at the time decided that he was going to go get sober. He went to treatment in Santa Monica, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I was
So
like,
you followed him?
no, well, I did follow him there. I literally showed up to the treatment center high all the time, and I came one day with like a bag full of shit.
Oh shit.
Because I was like, wait a minute, like, no, you're not gonna get sober, like, not until I tell you to. So I knew he would find it, and then he left the treatment center that day.
With you?
Yeah.
You left the baggie out for him?
Well, it was like in my bag in a place where like I knew he would find it. It's terrible, yeah. And so he found it, and then they trusted me at his treatment center. They thought I was sober and I wasn't.
Oh.
And so
they're not really good.
Detectives?
Rehab.
Yeah.
It was probably like like tweaking, and they're like, "Oh, she's sober. Let her in."
Oh, were you just there just visiting?
Yeah, I would visit.
She was a sober visitor.
Yeah, but that was the thing that was weird. They would always let me come and visit him.
They wanted him out of the rehab.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah.
who knows?
So
Okay.
I think that's funny.
They would let me pick him up and like take him
Okay.
places with me.
Okay.
Yeah, but that night he didn't come back.
You're like, oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So that happened. That was
I
the
love
most time you got sober. And then in 2020, what made you finally go check yourself into treatment yourself?
So I had lost my daughter for like the last time. So
To the court.
to
Or
the
to the
court,
state?
yeah, to DCFS, yeah,
Okay.
or CPS or whatever you want to call them, yeah. So I had pretended to the court that I was sober, you know, and they believed me, and because there were things that I was doing, you know, that was like proving my sobriety or whatever, and I ended up reunifying with her during COVID. And she was like 18 months at the time, which is like the maximum amount of time that you have for reunification. She was originally removed from me. Well, the first time she was removed from me, she was like 3 days old. And then I got her back a couple of days later. And then she was removed from me again when she was 2 months old. And that time it took me all the way until she was 18 months old to reunify with her. And, but I still wasn't sober. And, yeah, like this whole kind of like house of lies that I had built, all came crashing down. And,
I like that. House of Lies.
yeah, it was crazy. It was like, you know, like I thought it was working, and that was the kind of person that I was. Like I was always like that. I was gonna figure out another way, like,
Later.
yeah, to get around it. Like you're not gonna tell me what to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just so if no one is watching the YouTube, Anna looks very young. She looks believable. Anything she says, people will believe her. So she probably
looks
used that.
trustworthy.
Yeah, she looks, that's what I meant. She looks trustworthy
Yeah.
and youthful. And so I think she really uses that as her advantage when you're probably out there.
You know, I
And
did.
for the courts.
Yeah, for sure.
And the rehab. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm here to pick up my boyfriend and I'm sober.
Exactly.
Just like
Yeah,
that.
they actually got mad at him. Like I remember them
You're a
calling.
piece of shit. She's such a good girl.
Yes, they're like, "What did you do? How dare you get her high again?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I love it.
Yes,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Okay, so the last time your daughter was taken, you had to go back to court, right? Is that you were getting to why you got sober the second time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my whole plan was like I had this new plan, which
Okay.
was like, okay, I've done these things. I did these like diversion programs, like these outpatient programs, like all this stuff, just like checking boxes on paper to show the courts that I was sober. But I'd never really gone, or not never really, but I'd never gone to residential treatment. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can find a treatment center that I can go to where they allow kids. So like where moms and kids can.
I love those.
Yeah. And so that's how I ended up in Costa
Not
Mesa.
There's not enough, yeah.
You went to New Directions?
I did,
Oh,
yeah.
New Directions has
Yeah.
that.
No way.
It's so crazy because like literally that place saved my life. And
Yeah.
I found it by Googling.
Yeah.
You know, I was like super tweaked out. I was a wreck because, and I don't want to talk shit about CPS, but they do weird things.
Yeah.
They're
No,
like-
it's not a good system. It's good and it's not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I know my part and I don't blame them at all. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely like still a little bit resentful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nobody needs to grow up with a mom that's not sober.
Of
You know what I
course, yeah.
mean? So.
And my mom actually works for CPS
Does she?
in LA County.
Oh.
So I hear, and my
We
mom.
might know each other.
I know, right?
She's like,
They
Ashley,
in the
have-
valley?
Well, they have rules they have to follow. And sometimes my mom's like, in my gut, I follow my gut and break the rules, but I can get fired.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that are agents, she's not for kids anymore, she's for adults. But in the time, she's like, I could get fired, but I know this is the right thing to do. But a lot of the agents follow it to a T, but it's like they have to do it, even if it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had that plan. I was going to go to residential. I was going to bring her with me. And I thought the judge and the courts were going to go for it. And yeah, it's kind of a long story. It was
No, yeah.
like things did like reopen, like they did start reinvestigating me. At the end of the day, it was like I ended up in this treatment center. It saved my life, and I never reunified with my
Without
daughter.
your daughter.
Yeah,
Okay.
without her. And in March of 2021, they actually terminated my rights with her, which made her open and adoptable to her foster family. And at that time, I was sober, you know, so I went through residential, I went to sober living, I was doing all the things, got the sponsor, you know.
And this happened in your first year?
This happened in my first year of sobriety, yeah. And so, and it did. It was like they filed some kind of petition. The judge accepted it. It was really looking like maybe I was going to have a shot.
Oh my God.
For
I
my
hear stories like that all the time.
Yeah. And then, and I'll never forget what the judge said, because like I got there and it was obviously still during COVID. So it was like not telehealth, but like telecourt or whatever. And I had all these.
Telecourt. What a weird time.
I know.
What the fuck?
I was like volunteering at the Lynn House. I had all these letters from all these people, and the judge.
Oh my God, that's where I met you.
At the Lynn House?
Yes, that was the very first time I ever met you. Sorry,
Really?
anyways, continue. Yeah.
I don't remember.
You came in to do yoga for the clients, and we literally met for like a hot second.
Yeah. That place was so like important in my sobriety. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
You were going into the court, and you'll never forget what the
doing
judge.
everything.
Oh yeah, I had all these letters,
Yeah.
like, and the judge was like, I just wish that the woman who's sitting in front of me now was the woman that was sitting in front of me a year ago. And he's like, I really want to be able to do this thing, but you just ran out of time.
Wow.
And like for the state of California, like
He's following the law.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that was that, and my rights were terminated, and that made her open and adoptable, and she was adopted. And they don't even give you notification. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she was adopted. I don't even know. Like maybe like a year later, her adoption was like finalized, and they don't even tell you.
That is
You know,
so
it's like I don't even have a
fucked.
right to know that she was adopted. But
Wow.
Yeah. So I got really sick and really depressed and really sad.
When
Because
that
of
happened.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I just like, even though I had a sponsor, and I had sponsees at the time, and commitments, and
Do you
like
know how much time you had at that time?
in March 2021, well, like August to March.
November, December, February, March. 6 months.
Yeah,
6 months sober.
yeah, and I just
So then who surrounded you? The women?
no, I didn't let anyone surround me.
No one.
Yeah,
So you kind of went in kind of like
Alone.
until it hurt
yeah,
bad enough.
and then I decided that I needed to get high again, because like I didn't
Okay.
want to do it anymore. Yeah. Like I unblocked her dad on my phone. He started calling me. It was like, you know, the things
Yeah,
started
yeah, yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Okay, so then after that, when was the next time you got sober?
So I relapsed on July 5th, 2021. And then I relapsed that weekend. You know, it was like, I feel like if I tell this story, I'm just going to talk too long.
Well,
How do I shorten it? Like I called
bullet
the guy.
points. Yeah,
Dude, yeah.
call the guy.
I call the guy. I end up there. All like, oh my God. I end up in front of his house. He's taking forever. Like they take forever.
Yeah, and you have to take a shit.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
20 minutes, 30 minutes later, the sun's like beating down because it's like July in the valley. I'm like sweating in this
Right.
like this crappy Volvo that I had. And like this voice in my head is like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did
like,
you listen
just,
to it?
No,
No.
just go home.
Okay.
I even like I
Relapse.
I pulled down the visor because like the sun, and I'm like, man, it's hot. I pulled down the visor, and this prayer card, this Mother Mary card that my sponsor at the time had given me, floated down on my lap.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, God is literally telling you
To leave.
go home.
Yeah.
But I was like already too deep.
Yeah.
You know
You were
what I
at
mean?
the drug dealer's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets in the car. He's like, man, where you been? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sober.
Yeah. And he's like, what the fuck?
You know, I'm like, I work at a treatment center, and it's like not even going through my head that like I'm gonna get this shit, I'm gonna hit it, and I'm not gonna be sober anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still gonna be sober afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's just so delulu what's
Yeah.
going on in there. So
House
yeah,
of Lies live in your
The
brain
House of
too.
Lies.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay, so you did that.
Yeah.
Then what brought you back?
Well, I had to come back because I had to work at the treatment center.
Oh my God, you love doing that.
Well,
High at treatment centers.
this was like your job was still also doing yoga.
Stop.
The
No, I wasn't. Okay, I was
were like a
volunteering.
tech?
Yeah, I was a tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like this is kind of sketchy to share because like they don't even know to this day that any of that happened. You
It's
know?
okay. You
Yeah.
know why? I feel like it happens all the time, and especially the places that are genuine, like the place you were at and other sister companies, know that there's going to be that. And it's just, you just have to, if you find it, you tell them you have to leave. But it's like, if you come back and say, I was doing that, no one fucking cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Treatment, all the time.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I came back, I went to work, I took this shit because he hooked me up and I stuck it in the back pocket of the car of my Volvo station wagon. Drove back to, came back here to Orange County, and I'm driving around with it for like 2 weeks back there.
Didn't
like
do it.
didn't do it, wanted to get rid of it. Like he hooked me up fat. So there was like a lot of rocks in there. They were big.
Yeah.
And I'm like driving around with this stuff in my car. Like again, the little voice is like, just dump it
Going
out the
to your
window.
rehab job.
Going to my rehab job. Yeah, doing all the things. And I'm like, just throw it out the window.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, but I can't. Because like those rocks are huge and they're
Yeah,
going to get
yeah.
run over, you know? And this is when I realized that like, wow, like I really am like an addict. Like I really have this thing that like I hear about in the rooms. It was kind of pivotal. Like that thought of like it was gonna get run over. It was gonna get hurt. Like it had
Yeah.
feelings.
Ooh, whoa.
You know?
I've never heard that.
Wow.
And
I
I was
like
like,
that.
dude, I'm sick.
Yeah.
You're sick, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sick.
I'm sick too, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I totally understand that.
And so I go back to LA maybe like the next weekend. So there was like a couple, like it was July 5th. I started the relapse, came back, worked. And then July 17th, I went back to LA.
Going back to LA. And then when
What's
did
in
you get
LA?
sober?
And July 18th is my sobriety day.
Oh,
Wait,
you went
what
to
is
LA
LA?
to get sober.
For
No.
treatment?
I went to LA. Okay, July 17th is my son's birthday. So I go to LA every other weekend to see my family, even living out here even now. So July 17th, I go back to LA. I immediately get loaded as soon as I walk in my mom's house. I grab it out of the thing. I get the tin foil because I love doing that foil.
Yeah. Old school.
I'm a foil girl. And I get high, and now I'm high at my son's birthday party
And
again.
everybody knows.
No.
No, because it's Anna and she can get away with anything.
Nobody knows, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're doing so good. You've been sober, and it's my
Oh my
son's
God.
birthday." And I'm like, I'm breaking my family's heart one more time.
Yeah.
I can't do this, and
That
so
just gave me chills.
So it's like a spiritual experience
I had
or awakening.
I had a full on spiritual experience that night. Like that relapse was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't like, it's not like, oh yeah, go relapse.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But
it's-
like it was
I agree
What's
with
that saying? You've got a head full of AA with a belly full of booze. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work once you've been in the program
Yeah.
for a little bit. Like it's always going to be in the back of your head.
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I heard the big book over and over again.
Yeah. So you just stopped. You just went back into meetings and you got honest.
Yeah. I picked up the phone. I was up all night, but I didn't get high. Like I got high that day, and then I was just tweaked. And so
Yeah.
I was just like up all night listening to my head talk to me, the big book.
Yeah.
Kept saying the same thing over and over again. Half measures availed us nothing.
Wow.
We stood at the turning point. And then I felt like I had a conversation with God, and I was like,
Make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, yeah, it was like, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like,
so you
I'm
made a
at the turning
conscious
point.
decision.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, God was like, you did the thing, but like but this one thing, your daughter, like Genesis, like you're just like you don't want to let go of that, like,
Yeah.
and you won't give me that, but if you give me her, I promise you that we can walk through this together. That's what I heard. And I said, okay. And so when the sun came up finally and it was morning, I picked up the phone and I just like did what I'm gonna cry now. I did what like everybody in AA taught me what to do, you know, and like I called one woman who called another woman, and that one of those women ended up being my sponsor. And she just like stayed with me on the phone while I packed my stuff.
July 18th.
Yeah. And she was like, I told my family, they were all super supportive, and like I drove back to Orange County and I got sober and my whole entire life changed.
Wow.
Like it was crazy. Yeah.
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 I love that.
Wow. Beautiful.
Okay, so then
So
you're sober.
I said that I'm sober.
So
yeah.
then how did you deal with your daughter being adopted in your first year after all of that happened? Like a lot of people, it's hard for people to stay sober and to like have that on the back of your mind all the time. Like what steps did you take to get through that? Like, is it like something where you're just like have to like step away from, you know, I don't know. I want you, how do I,
I
Breezy,
get what
come
you're
in? Yeah.
said, but I think too, something that we've mentioned on the podcast before is like, you find other women who have been through it in the program, and that's the most beautiful thing.
Okay.
So I'm just curious, like, is that what ended up
Yeah,
happening?
that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Like volunteering at the Lynn House was super powerful for me because so many women walk in those doors that have lost their kids, you know? And and I was working at a women's facility, you know, that was the treatment center I was working at, and there were women there that had lost their kids. So I just kind of started sharing my story, and then the new sponsor that I got, she had lost her daughter. And
so they helped you step by step, basically.
Yeah, and it was like really kind of like this radical surrender of like, okay, I'm letting go. Like for the first time, because everything that had to do with sobriety all up until that moment on July 18th was getting her back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now this was like, it wasn't about getting her back. It was just about being sober and like making this, you know, relationship with my higher power and like giving back to other women. And my life just like took on a whole new meaning. And yeah, because the meaning before of getting her back was still super selfish and self-centered. So I was never really getting out of myself.
Yeah.
You know, that whole time, even though I was doing all the things, I've always been really good at checking boxes.
Which is really hard, I think, for a mother to do what you did, is step outside, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Thanks.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, and it says it in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, job or no job, wife or no wife.
Yeah.
We have to stay sober no matter what. It doesn't matter what we do or don't get back.
So, okay, so that all happened before that. So then the first year you got sober. What happened in that year? Anything else that you're, you know, either like your sponsor told you not to do and you did it? Like, what did you do? Like things that you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, but then you like cleaned it up right away.
Things that you were doing in your addiction.
Your slut behavior. Which is, my sponsor
followed
tells
you
me.
into your sobriety.
My sponsor says slut behavior does not mean you're sleeping around with men. Slut behavior to him, to me, is lying, cheating, stealing, and sleeping around, but that's not all it means, you know?
Yeah, I was really good about not sleeping around.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean,
but the lying, the cheating, you know.
But I did start dating this guy, and like I was like,
I was good about not sleeping around, but I did date this guy.
Like I feel like I was the victim of being 13th step, but no,
No, that's a true thing.
Yeah, so I met him.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, I met him at a meeting. This was like in between those 2 weekends where I got high.
Yeah.
So, like, in between there, nobody knew that I had relapsed because I didn't tell anyone. In between July 5th or whatever and July 17th, I was pretending like I hadn't relapsed.
Oh, so you're still going to meetings?
I'm still going to meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd met this guy this one day. Like, you know, whatever day that was. And then I came back, like, after the relapse, you know, July 18th, July 19th or 20th or whatever, I went to a meeting, and he was there again.
And you took your chip.
No, because now I stood up as a newcomer.
That's what I mean. You took your newcomer
yeah,
chip.
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, no, didn't have a year.
So then someone sees you take your chip and they were like, oh, maybe I should ask her out.
No, yeah, I think he wanted to maybe, I don't know, because I'm not him. I think he wanted to ask me out before, so he, like, sits down with me, like, after or before the meeting. He's like, so how are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, not good. Like, I'm fucking relapsed, you know? And, like, he didn't really believe me at first. And I was like, no, for real, I did.
Yeah.
But then the next thing I know, like, he wants to go out with me. And, like, and so then I go out with him. I think it was, like, that following weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had, like, 7 days sober. And, I don't know if I should tell this story.
Why? Tell it. Because you know why? In my opinion, if someone has a lot of time sober, and everyone is different, but in this situation even more, you say you're not okay. This person has all the sobriety, basically.
Yeah.
And you're saying you're not okay, and he's still pursuing you. It's that person's job to say, you know what? I am not going to, or if you asked him out, he should say, I am not going to go out with you until you build a little bit of sobriety, then maybe I'll go out with you. I feel like that needs to happen. Or if he asks you out before he does that, I feel like he's like, let this girl have a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
How much
You know
time
what I mean?
sober did he have?
I think he had like 2.5 years or something like that.
That's
so it wasn't
enough.
like, it wasn't a
Predator.
whole lot of time.
Predator.
How to catch a predator.
Yeah, predator.
Jimmy South.
Pedophile. Because she had 7 days.
Yeah, and the thing was, like, okay, to your point, was like, I really, like, I was never really that, like, into him. You know what I mean? But, like,
But you're vulnerable.
right, I also didn't
Yeah.
trust my own thinking. And so I had these crazy thoughts like, well, you don't even know what's good for you, you know? You should try.
You should go out with
You
him,
should
yeah.
try this guy that doesn't feel like it's very, like, just try it. You never know, you know?
You're fucked up.
But it turned into this gnarly cycle of, like, me breaking up with him and then us getting back together and, like, breaking up and back together. And then I felt like I was harming him and, like, making amends and then doing it again. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, we went out and he, like, invited himself. Okay, and I'm not trying to be the victim here, but he was like, oh, can I come over? Or can I come inside? So next thing I know, he's, like, in my bedroom.
Because you're vulnerable.
Yeah, and, like, how do I get rid of this guy? So
well,
then
and also, can I say that this is you're not emotionally or equipped to say stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
in
that
communication
moment.
I
skills
wasn't.
haven't
You,
been-
it's like kind of like you want to say it, but you're like, it's fear. You're like, oh my god, I don't know what to say. I think it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, it was gnarly, and it did
Emotional rape.
yeah, it was hard, and like it's kind of like it was a little bit of a roller coaster. Yeah, and my sponsor did.
And you
tell
stayed
me,
sober through it.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah, I stayed
perfect.
sober through it. Yeah,
Did he?
yeah, I think so.
We're still together. Just kidding. That's awesome.
Did you talk to your sponsor about it?
I did. Yeah.
What was the suggestion your sponsor said?
Okay, my sponsor started calling him and I won't say his name, but his name Band-Aid. Like anytime,
like a rhyme.
Yeah,
Like a rhyme. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a rhyme. It was just
like your Band-Aid.
exactly.
Okay,
like
alright.
anytime life got lifey, like I would call him again. Like he started becoming
No, I
like my
understood
solution
that.
to things.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, she would always like, don't call him.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
And you did it anyway.
Yeah, because I didn't. That was it. It felt good.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
People, places, and things we can get addicted to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, so you take away the drugs, and now it's like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
A man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
But the last time, like when I was finally done with it, I was crying. I was kind of having like an emotional, like, whatever. I was just like spitting out. And he's like, I've been trying to save you, And I'm like, save me from what? And he goes, from yourself. I go, I don't need you to save me from myself.
Oh, so he's got his own like codependency issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, if he is attracted to someone with 7 days, he also had a lot of work that he needed to do.
Who's sicker?
He's just sick. Yeah.
Who's sicker?
Honestly,
The
yeah.
guy.
Yeah. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So, okay, so let's go back to that first year. So you went through this whole relationship your entire first year.
With Band-Aid.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it was like
On and off throughout
Yes.
your whole year.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So
And then some. Like it
Kept
kept
going.
going. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it kept
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
years? Because you got 3.5 years sober. Are we still talking to this?
We're not still talking, no.
That's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it
we
took a
have
while
broken
though.
the cycle.
Broke the cycle.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to that first year, you didn't go to treatment. That second time, you just went back into the room.
Yeah, I just got back to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel like was the biggest difference between that? What was it? 9 months that you had? 10 months?
Yeah, 10 months, like 10 months and change or whatever.
Okay. Between then and that next first year, what did you change?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it was like maybe what I said before, like it was just different this time. It was like Genesis was gone. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that whole thing was shot out. And so, and I had a totally, completely different experience with the big book, you know, like with my sponsor. Like I remember exactly where we were sitting. She was like reading some like lines out of the book, and it was just like hitting me in a totally different way.
Mhm.
And I can't really like put a finger on it per se. Like it was just completely different. It was like I was at a different place, like within myself and within my heart, like a different place of surrender. And I think the reason why I was there and walking through it was totally different. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah.
You just fully surrendered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no more reservations.
No.
Because before the first year, it's like, okay, if I get my daughter back, I'll be fine. Second time around, you had to find it within yourself.
Yeah.
A reason to stay sober, no matter what.
Yeah, and I think that like this, and this has always kind of like been weird inside my spirit is like she's not my only kid. Like I have 3 other kids. Like I, you know, and like obviously like my son Joey it was his birthday that day on
Yeah.
the 17th, but like yeah, and it's been like a gnarly just experience like walking back towards them because there was something that happened where it was like everything inside of me became focused just on her, you know, my youngest, that it was almost like I didn't even remember that, you know, my other 3 kids deserve to have a sober mom in their life too, but it was like I had become yeah, it just through
Yeah.
like all of my using, you know, there was so much like distance and between me and them, you know.
The
It's
3
not-
other kids.
yeah, I don't mean distance because we're close, but like they had moved on with their lives,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Did you feel like this was like a do-over? Like I'm just gonna get her back, and I'm
Totally.
gonna be sober, and I'm gonna have a do-over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
But instead, now you're a sober mom, and that's essentially a do-over in and of itself. It's
Totally.
second life.
yeah,
And they get to know you as a completely different mom.
yeah.
So then what? So then it's so sweet. So okay, doing that, you realize that. What did you do different with the kids now that you realized, oh, I do have all these other 3 kids? What did you do? Did you were you in their lives more? Did you ask them more personal questions? You hung out with them more? Like, how did that
How
look
did it
like?
change your relationship? with
Yeah,
them?
how did it change the relationship?
Yeah, like okay, well my
Because you're
oldest,
close, but
yeah,
meaning like, what more did you do to connect more?
that's a hard question. Well, my oldest ended up moving to New York,
Okay.
and she needed space. Like she talks about even now, like that was like her healing time, you know.
Yes.
But when she lived in New York, we started talking every day on the phone. It was like us being further apart, like in body, like made us closer in spirit somehow, you know. And so
That's beautiful.
we started FaceTiming all the time, and then yeah, when she lived in New York, we had this little FaceTime group where it would be like all of us would FaceTime, you know. And like there was a part of me at one point that like did want to move back to LA because like that's where, you know, that's where my kids live except for her because she was in New York, but I couldn't. It was like everything out here. I had all this work out here in Orange County. I couldn't get a job in LA to save my life, and it just like didn't feel like I was supposed to be there, you know.
Wasn't God's will.
Yeah, and they were like, "Mom, just stay out there in Orange County. Keep doing what you're doing." And so I drive back and forth to LA. I still do it now, like every other weekend to see my kids, to see my mom and dad. And my youngest of my three that I'm still in contact with is 13. So I see him every other weekend. But my older two are both in their 20s, and like they are just doing whatever they're doing.
Well, and you know what?
Like mom, like,
And
they
that's
feel like-
normal
yeah.
for any 20-year-old. And
It's
then
like-
they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope they do.
Yeah,
Because
they
it's like
do.
reverse
We
now.
all did
Like,
it.
what are you guys doing? Like, do you want to hang out? They're like, Mom, like we're busy, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute though.
That's cute.
I bet you're the cool mom.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
With strawberry
I never
earrings.
feel cool. I literally still feel like some days like the awkward girl on the playground that was chasing the boys around.
I think you're still doing that. Nothing's changed.
Just a little.
Just a little.
You're the only one that sees you like that.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
So, in your first year, did you find your purpose?
Yes.
What is that? And do you feel like finding your purpose was a big reason that you stayed sober?
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. That's hard to articulate. Like, what is my purpose? Like, I know what my passion is and how there's purpose connected to it. Like, so I started teaching yoga. I was volunteering at the Lynn, but then I really started teaching yoga in treatment centers and facilitating yoga groups. And then just someone walked up to me, like an acquaintance that I knew at a meeting, and was like, hey, I do this breathwork thing. I think you would be really good at it. And I started facilitating breathwork groups, and that's what I do now. And I ended up like starting my own business, and that is it. Like I'm really, really passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how to articulate it. It's hard to talk about
You are
it.
articulating
Yeah,
it.
Oh wait, am I?
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Good.
found your purpose by doing what you love. And what you love is the breath work and yoga.
Yeah.
So your purpose is helping others.
Yeah. And
helping others find intuition.
Yeah.
specifically
You know what I mean?
people that are in recovery too. Like
Yeah.
especially people that are in those first 30, 60, 90 days.
And people have their light bulb on because of it, you know?
Yeah.
Awakening.
Did you
Yeah.
do breath work at Camp Soberfest?
I did. Oh,
No.
did I?
Did he take your class?
I love breath work.
Okay.
I love Kundalini yoga. We talked about this.
Yes.
I wanted to do breath work, but I didn't go. That's what it is.
That was so much lead up.
And it's not for everyone. Sometimes,
No,
yeah.
I didn't go because it was first it was cold and I wanted to work out to get warm, and I knew if I was in the breath work I wouldn't be able to fully be in it because I would,
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I
You needed
picked
to
the
be in the
workout
right-
because I wanted to. I think maybe I needed to let other things out more than the breath work in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, breath work, I felt like I
Other
wouldn't be
things.
able to connect
Yeah.
because of, I don't know if it was outside. I don't know.
No, you have to be in the right headspace
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anna is our breath work facilitator at Camp Soberfest.
Yes.
And
Which I will take. I'm making a commitment to take this summer
in
Okay.
August.
in August.
Well, I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
And it was truly life-changing. Like, I was hysterically crying. Not only me, but, like, everyone. It was outside, I was going to say inside, but everyone in that circle, like, everyone was hysterically crying, which is why I asked the purpose question, because I know after that breath work, like, everyone in the circle went around and just said how life-changing that was. And I always do a survey after Camp Soberfest, and I ask people the things that they loved the most. And breathwork was like every single person's checkmark with love.
Oh, did you know that, Anna?
Yeah.
She told you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just hard to, I don't know.
You don't like compliments?
Maybe not. Also, it's weird because it's like, I don't really feel like I'm doing much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's like once the ride starts, like I have to just see it to the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You let like spirit take over.
Exactly.
Everyone.
You kind of black out.
Totally.
I do that too. With
yeah. And like, and think,
I do.
No, yeah. It's like, things are coming out of your mouth and you're just like, wait a minute, like, that's not even me. Like, I'm not even saying this.
Anna,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, you just like get into this weird zone.
I just got goosebumps everywhere.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, and it's like, because it's coming from inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming from God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, that is such an intense purpose. Like, the amount of people that you're helping every single day, that it's like, you know. And I just think a lot of people in sobriety, you get into recovery and it's like, I know for myself, when I was, you know, even from a little kid, I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And so when I got sober, it was like, oh my God, now real life has to happen. And like, what am I supposed to do with myself? And that kind of like perpetuates alcoholism to me, you know, like that fear of like, why am I here? What am I doing on earth? And so I think that it's such a gift to be able to find it so early on in your recovery and to be able to just like keep helping people in so many other ways.
100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of segue, helping other people, when was the first time you took another woman through the 12 steps?
Well, I had sponsees before my relapse.
Yeah.
So I took them through the steps. It's weird that that first sobriety, I did get maybe 3 women all the way through the book, all the way through the 12 steps. I know for a fact one of them's still sober. Not like that has anything to do with me.
Yeah.
But this time, I've had a lot of sponsees. Haven't had a girl yet walk through all the steps.
Yeah.
But I have sponsees now, and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful relationship. Yeah. Also, so frustrating at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like I still haven't called back one of my sponsees from yesterday. Like, oh my God.
That happens too.
Yeah, life just happens, and yeah.
We are all just humans.
Yes.
Yeah. Sponsorship I feel like a lot of people put so much pressure on themselves to like be this perfect sponsor, but that's not what it's supposed to be.
No.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like that.
No, I feel like I heal when I'm sponsoring another woman. I feel like I'm being healed every time I run a yoga and a breathwork group.
Yeah.
You know, like it's this like some kind of like mutual healing that's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel like that when you're cutting hair. It's like, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's like you're doing the work, but like there's work happening inside of me at the same time.
Yeah.
And
Well, I related to you with, everybody has that question, is when you said, do I relate to that? I do. The act of cutting hair is just something that brings me to people, but really I feel connection to people. And my purpose is to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I always knew that intuitively, and I always pushed it away.
Mm-hmm.
And once I leaned into it, the path kind of just cleared, and everything just started, sobriety, everything just started flowing more when I accepted that that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's your journey.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you right now, it is. It's similar to mine.
Yeah. No, I trust you, and I feel that. Like, but it's cool that you said to help people, because I think I forget that sometimes. Like I get caught up like in the minutia, like of all the little things that like the big picture sometimes gets lost.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, what is it really like? Why am I doing this? You know, like, why am I here? Especially if I have hard groups sometimes where it's like you have this little present and I'm like trying to deliver it to these people, but like they don't really want it, you know? Like sometimes they're being like, or obviously like the groups aren't voluntary.
Yeah.
So the like energy exchange sometimes feels off, which is why it's really, you know, beautiful and refreshing to be able to do breathwork at Camp Soberfest. Where it's like, oh my God.
People chose to be there.
Yes, this whole circle of people, and it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, everybody literally wants to do this.
Oh, of course.
And thank God I wasn't there, because if everybody was crying, I'd be like, oh my God, get me out of here.
I really
Just
feel
kidding.
like, I don't know why, but I feel like you were there in the first one.
You told me that. I wasn't there.
That's so weird.
But you know what? I
Like,
really
I even feel like I
wanted
remember where
to
you were
be
laying.
there.
Okay.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be there, and I didn't go. Maybe that's what it was. You maybe
Yeah.
like felt me like I really did want to be there.
Yeah.
But I chose the workout.
But
That's
wasn't
not at the same time as the
yeah,
workouts.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was.
No, yoga was in the morning.
Oh, it was the same
Breathwork?
time as yoga.
Yeah,
You
breathwork
went
was
to
at
the
4 p.m.
breathwork.
Breathwork was at 4
I know
p.m.
exactly where
In
you
a
were
circle,
laying.
It was sunny.
Yes.
I did go to the breath. I didn't go to yoga. Oh my God, I went to breath
I
work.
am fucking dead.
I knew you were there.
I did not go to breath work. I wanted to be there.
I did, and I was like, I didn't go. Oh my God, I did go.
Because
And we were all crying.
we did do 2 breath works.
Because
so
the
that's
people wanted
probably
to
what
go.
you were thinking about. Yeah, there was
I
a
went to
morning
the
breath
second
work.
one.
You went to the first one.
Okay, we gotta move forward. Okay, so for all of those people in their first year, do you have specific advice for? Usually I leave it like blanket statement, or more vague for those mothers who are walking through something similar that you were walking through.
It's so hard to answer questions like just right on the spot.
Well, what did you do? What helped you through it?
Yeah,
That would help someone else.
I think I just really like let go. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think my advice would be to just surround yourself with other women that maybe like have walked through the same thing, you know, that you're walking through. And to let go and to find something inside of yourself that's like separate from the that relationship, like, you know, which I don't even know that that's fully possible, but yeah, like my sponsee right now is like, yeah, she's walking through that same thing, you know, so.
And that's something that you tell her.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm totally blanking right now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You answered it.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm always unsure.
You answered it 100%.
Unsure, Anna.
No.
You said you are telling people to let go.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Let go of the situation. Let go
and let God.
Yeah, let go and let God. Focus on yourself, and then it will come if, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It will come.
Yeah. Because we get so caught up in like just trying to like control and manipulate and like do, and I don't mean that in like a negative way, but like do this so I can get that result. And then I'll do this and I'll get this overnight visit and I'll do that. And then like I'll be at this step of the game, you know? And then like you get all the way down to the end. And like I just had a girl call me a few days ago. She's right there. She's right about to reunify with her daughter. And she wants to get high. You know, and like she doesn't have a sponsor. She's going to meetings. She hasn't done steps, but it's like she's at that place where it's like, okay, I did all the work. You know, I did all the work. And now I'm here, and it's like, now what?
Yeah,
you know,
she's at a crossroad. She's on the fence.
Yeah,
she needs to make a decision.
Yeah, and that's how I always. That's how I always felt. And
it's the expectation. It's like when I have this thing. You expect to feel a certain way, but if you're not having that conscious contact with a higher power, it doesn't matter what you get back.
Also, too, something that might help her for you is it's not going to always be a burning bush. It's not going to be like, oh my God, I arrived.
Yeah.
It's always going to be little things that she is not paying attention to. Like having you come into her life that has dealt with that. Like her higher power sending her all these things she's not realizing.
Yeah.
She's closed off to that. So maybe if you open her mind up a little bit more and have her kind of see the coincidences in her life.
The God shots.
I think that might help a little more because it's not going to be like you arrived, here's your daughter. You know, it's not a burning bush.
Yeah.
It's not literal. You have to really look more spiritual.
Yeah.
And this is a spiritual program. So I feel bad for people that take things very literal and analyze everything. I was never like that because I wasn't. Spirituality came natural to me, so I'm really grateful. So it's a spiritual program. You cannot look at all of the steps literally, you know? It has to be something that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is by meditation, prayer, talking to other people.
Yeah. Okay, so final question.
Okay.
We gotta wrap it up. As far as that first sobriety and this sobriety, what are you most proud of?
I totally blanked out while you were talking.
Between all the time that you've had sober,
Yeah.
whether this time or last time, what are you most proud of? What are you taking with you every day? Or what is something that someone has told you in your sobriety that stuck with you?
One piece of advice that you would tell someone?
Yeah. Well, that we already did, but
yeah, use me is a big one. Use me, just use me to whatever it is that you need me to do today, put someone in my life today that I can help. And I do start my day often a lot, and I don't remember who it was that said it. I just thank God for my breath, and I ask him to help me do something good with it, throughout my day. And I think, I don't know, the thing that I'm most proud of is just that I'm sitting in this chair today and that I'm still sober.
yeah.
Because I do know that there are so many moms out there that walked through what I walked through and got to that place where they're just it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's gone, it's gone. And it's really easy to just go back to the way that you were living your life, and it's let me just try to smoke this away, and I'm gonna smoke this away as hard and fast as I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't even know how or why, but for some reason I chose not to, and I just started walking in the other direction. And it's, my life is so beautiful today. It's more beautiful than anything I ever dreamed of. Yeah.
Oh.
I love you so much.
I'm so happy I
You
met
are
you.
such a beautiful soul,
Yeah.
and I know for a fact this podcast episode will be the most powerful that we've had yet, by far. Probably may ever have. So, for someone who is so nervous, you definitely changed lives. So I appreciate you coming on and being so honest and vulnerable.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober Disclosure. This episode is brought to you by Light Salon, Orange County's premier destination for expert hair color. At Light Salon, we specialize in creating stunning custom color transformations that highlight your natural beauty. Owned and operated by a passionate, sober stylist, we bring authenticity, creativity, and precision to every client experience. Light Salon.